Charles, go ahead now and tell us what exactly it is that you found.
Well, with the gun control issue, I was able to go through in real time and debunk everyone on Twitter who was saying that there was one school shooting every week. I showed that the president was mistaken or lying about that, and that the Everytown statistics, which is an anti-gun, pro-Michael Bloomberg outfit, were just making up the numbers. They were including things like gang shootings, shootings that occurred in parking lots. They were including things that had really nothing to do with a school. They were shootings that happened to occur in a school, in the case of one gangbanger shooting another, but they were not exactly the Columbine or Newtown-style shootings. And right now on Twitter, I am going through and I'm debunking and giving real-time reports about what's going on with the stolen election in Mississippi. Right. So I believe Twitter can be used as a very effective tool to educate people, and you can post primary source documents, videos, and that's what I like to do.
Yeah, no, I think it's awesome. And this is really the job of the citizen journalist. And the citizen journalist has sprouted up and gotten a lot of credibility because the mainstream media doesn't do this kind of thing anymore. So tell us about the race. You watched it go down like we all watched it go down. You and I both campaigned for McDaniel, believing that he was the We the People candidate versus the elite candidate. What told you, I'm going to have to be all over this, there's something really freaky going on here?
Well, the thing is that I observed that there was a lot of chatter among different segments of the population, and that they were encouraging violating the law to go in. And it seems to me that it was just too self-serving that all of these efforts were done to basically steal this election. There's, of course, voter fraud allegations now. I posted at my site, gotnews.com, again, gotnews.com. I posted the Reverend Stevie Fielder, who confirmed to Matt Boyle of the Breitbart News that he was in fact paid by the Cochran campaign to go and get people to go and vote. It was $15 to vote. So these types of things are going to start coming out. They're going increasingly coming out. We're already discovering that there are 3,300 votes that were fraudulently cast, and that's just with half of the counties remaining. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here. My sense is that the Cochran people made a massive miscalculation. I mean, Haley Barbour and Austin Barbour and Henry Barbour, the Barbour family, who really wanted to have the basically what they wanted to do is they wanted to steal this election, and that they wanted to have their guy Cochran in as an appropriator should the GOP take the Senate in the fall. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be very interesting. We've got lobbyist cash piling up, but the people in Mississippi are very angry, and rightfully so. So I think it'll be very fun to see what happens to it all. And my general sense is that it's going to remain very interesting.
So people have said, okay, so you found this guy who I believe is a black preacher, if I'm not mistaken, who says that he was paid to get votes to deliver his constituency, I don't know if it was his congregation or what, for Cochran. But others have criticized and said, but hey, if you had someone who was willing to be paid by you to talk, isn't it perhaps the case that he's just willing to be paid by whomever and say whatever that person will pay him to say? Does that decrease his credibility in this?
Well, I would just say that no, it does not. There's a long history of checkbook journalism in American journalism. Every press baron that's ever existed,
including Frost Nixon, which you brought up before. You said Frost Nixon is one of the situations that you called checkbook journalism, and you say, I'm going to bring it back. You're not apologetic about it.
No, not at all. In fact, sources are compensated in all sorts of ways. They promote their books. They promote whatever brand they're doing. I just promoted gotnews.com. So there's nothing wrong with being compensated. It's up to both the journalist and the audience. I think there's a crucial component of the audience to fact-check claims that are made. After all, the First Amendment, unlike what Austin Barbour said today about there being such a thing as a quote-unquote legitimate media, the First Amendment belongs to all of us. It's our Constitution.
He's talking about you, Charles, at gotnews.com. So I would say that by itself makes you legitimate media. I think that's really cool, and I appreciate the work you're doing. Best guess as to how this is going to go down. We've only got a couple of seconds left, but best guess as to how this is going to go down, Charles.
Well, my guess is that Chris McDaniel is going to win. It's just a matter of time, and that Chris McDaniel, when he wins, he will owe the establishment GOP nothing. And so there will be a real landslide. The landslide's already coming. Many of the people who already claim that the race is over, well, if it was over, why has it continued? I mean, this is we're now 8 days later, and there's still allegations of fraud. There's Pete the Cheat Perry out of Hines County, who's a friend of Haley Barbour's, who received a $60,000 bribe essentially to not certify absentee ballots.
The corruption is truly unbelievable. It really is. And we'll have to go to gotnews.com to learn more about it. Charles, we appreciate you being on with us today.